Okay, hello everybody. I'm meteorologist Ashley Smith here in the First Alert Streaming Center. Was trying to get things set up as we get ready to talk about, of course, the potential for some strong to severe thunderstorms today as we continue to track the remnants of Beryl into the tri-state. So far, we have, of course, we don't have any watches or warnings in effect right now, but we will be watching for that potential as we head throughout the day today. So we are going to be continuing to monitor that here in the Weather Center throughout today. And even again tomorrow, while we're not really looking at severe storms possible tomorrow, we are still looking at a chance for some disruptive weather tomorrow. So the very gusty winds expected tomorrow as well. Basically, anytime between now and tomorrow morning, we will see that potential for those strong storms. Really, the greatest threat is going to be damaging winds, but even brief spin-up tornadoes will also be possible. So that's why it's a First Alert weather day today and tomorrow. And we've been saying this, but we want to make sure that you have a way to get those alerts because some of these storms could be later in the evening, maybe even after you've gone to bed. So we want to make sure that you have those alerts because oftentimes that's when, people let their guard down and they don't know that the severe thunderstorm or even the tornado is headed their way. So while we're not expecting an outbreak of tornadoes or anything like that, even just one spin-up tornado could be dangerous. So here's what it looks like on radar right now. So we do already have pretty active weather on radar as we look off to the southwest. And let me turn different radar on here. I do have lightning turned on. You see there's one of those lightning strikes here moving toward Carrollton. Really, I guess it's a little bit northwest of Carrollton, but pushing toward Carroll County. You see Switzerland County going to see some of those showers and storms as well. Let me pause this so that you can see what's happening right now. So yeah, some very heavy rain embedded within these storms. Some gusty winds, but nothing significant. Of course, again, sub-severe, nothing that's going to prompt a severe thunderstorm warning or anything like that. But again, all of this moving to the northeast. What I suspect will happen with this particular cell is that it kind of stays along I-71. I think it's northwest of Cincinnati. It will be very close to downtown Cincinnati, but I do think that we avoid it for the most part. Yeah, very heavy rain expected within this storm. So as we continue to track it off to the northeast, and this is probably the correct speed of the storm. It would be in Dillsboro at 102, Lawrenceburg at 129. I would prepare for that to be there a little bit earlier. And now this is, of course, kind of that center right where that lightning strike is. That's when that will be there. You'll see showers well ahead of that. That's just going to be those thunderstorms that you see, or at least that one cluster of thunderstorms. As we look further off to the west, we see more showers, possibly some thunderstorms there in parts of southern Indiana and Illinois. What's going to happen, and let me turn on, what's going to happen is this entire system, obviously this is the remnants of Beryl, which was once a very strong hurricane. Notice how, you see these different bands of really heavy rain and some embedded lightning. We don't have the lightning data that goes out that far, but there's likely some lightning embedded within that storm. This all has to spin counterclockwise through the tri-state. So the rain itself is moving northeast, but this entire system is kind of spinning in that counterclockwise fashion and still has to make its way through the tri-state throughout today and tomorrow. So while right now it looks like, oh, this can just move from west to east through the area. Well, not exactly, because it's also spinning in that counterclockwise fashion. The center of circulation is actually very far off to our southwest across parts of Arkansas into Missouri as well. So we still have a ways to go with this storm system, and we're going to see these individual kind of storm cells. You see that one that I just pointed out moving toward Carrollton. We have another line of storms kind of along the Illinois-Indiana border. We have another cluster of storms here in southern Missouri. So it's going to come in these multiple waves of storms through the area. So we're just going to be dealing with this again throughout the day today and again tomorrow. Right now, though, that is some very heavy rain that's moving through parts of southeastern Indiana, kind of crossing over the Ohio River into Carroll County, Switzerland County, Ohio County, definitely going to have some impacts from this as well. So yeah, very heavy rain, some lightning perhaps, gusty winds, but nothing that's going to be severe, at least not at this time. We expect the better chance for severe storms later today into the evening hours, even into the overnight hours. We'll still be dealing with some of those stronger thunderstorms as well. Okay. Outside right now, it's very humid, very muggy conditions. Ooh, we've got boats coming from both directions. And looks like that riverboat that was there over the weekend, I think Sunday, I saw that riverboat leave. I guess it's back now, that you see there at the public landing. It was called American Melody, if it's the same one, which I'm guessing it is. We have a riverboat here. We have a barge here. A lot of activity on the Ohio River right now from our Newport on the Levee camera. It's very, very quiet outside right now. The flag's waving just a little bit in the breeze, but the air is very still. It's very thick. We have very humid conditions out there. Temperatures in the 70s and 80s, 84 at Lunken and Batavia, 84 at CVG. Richmond and Batesville a little cooler thanks to some of the rain in the vicinity, 77 degrees in both of those locations, 82 in Wilmington, but dew points are in the 70s. So again, feels very muggy outside, very, very humid air expected with those dew points in the 60s and 70s. Okay, as far as those wind gusts, today you're looking at 20 to 25 mile per hour gusts later this afternoon, but the winds really pick up tomorrow, 30 to 40 mile per hour gusts with the occasional maybe 45 mile per hour gusts possible tomorrow afternoon. And then those winds do die down by the time that we get to Thursday. I wanted to show you the heat index right now. It's not terribly significant, but it is noticeable. Okay, so it feels like 90 at Lunken, it feels like 92 in Lebanon, it feels like 88 at CVG and in Hamilton. So yes, a bit of a heat index to speak of. Did I show you? Oh, no, I didn't. Okay. So let's talk about the Reds game. The first pitch is at 7:10. There will be storms in the vicinity, mostly during the later portions of the game. So I think they'll be able to get the game started on time, and then maybe later on we see that better chance for storms. Let's talk about the threat for severe weather. So Storm Prediction Center has us included in a marginal and slight risk for severe storms for most of us, but parts of the region are also included in the enhanced threat. So that's a 3 on a scale of 1 to 5. Further off to the west, storms will start to weaken as they push to the east. A large portion of the area in a slight risk, a large portion in a marginal risk. So all of that, again, moving further off to the east. So what the Storm Prediction Center is saying is that our threats for severe weather do include a tornado threat and a damaging wind threat. With those tornadoes, what we talk about oftentimes is that these would be those spin-up tornadoes. They don't last very long, but they can cause some damage, even if they are brief, because it's a lot like a severe thunderstorm that has damaging winds with it. It's that kind of damage. Could see trees come down, could see power lines, maybe some shingles blown off your roof. Those are the types of things that we would see. No significant structures should be damaged. That's going to be with a much stronger tornado outbreak. That's not really what we expect, but again, we'll be watching this very closely because it still has the potential to cause some damage across parts of the area. I'm just trying to read what the discussion is saying. It's all very wordy. Okay. So let's talk about the hourly forecast. Let's talk about that risk for storms. So this is kind of what's out there right now, and the model is projecting it to stay, again, just barely northwest of Cincinnati. That's going to be the first round of showers or thunderstorms. Then around 4 or 5 p.m., we start to see these spotty storms kind of popping up. Better chance for those storms 8, 9, 10 p.m. And even after midnight, you're still going to see those storms continuing to move across parts of the tri-state. This is at 1 a.m. Yeah, some lightning, some thunder, probably waking you up in the middle of the night in some spots. And then tomorrow morning, it's much more scattered across the area. This is that, again, that counterclockwise flow throughout the day tomorrow as well. So a spotty shower or thunderstorm possible. Temperatures a lot cooler, dropping down into the 70s. And again, very breezy winds tomorrow, even outside of thunderstorms. It's just going to be a very windy day. And then Thursday, a really small chance for an isolated storm. I do think that most of us will stay dry, and any of those storms that we see on Thursday will not be severe. And the same with Wednesday. Once we get through that early, maybe the 3 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday, the rest of the day, not expecting severe storms, just gusty winds. Again, here's kind of that wider picture of Beryl as it moves to the east. Small chance for rain on Thursday. Friday and Saturday will be dry and very hot. Now, earlier we talked about a chance for storms on Sunday, and that chance is getting smaller. Now, of course, again, remember, we do actually need the rain, but we don't want it to impact our weekend festivities, that's for sure. Rainfall total is still looking like an inch or less across most of the area. It's all going to be dependent upon where we see some of those thunderstorms and where it lingers a little bit longer and maybe doesn't have quite the forcing mechanism to get it out of here. So today's hot, 88 degrees, very humid. Tomorrow cooler with temperatures in the 70s, and 77 might even be too high. We're in the low 80s on Thursday with an isolated storm. Lots of sunshine Friday and Saturday, but very hot with temperatures near 90, and that warm weather continues Sunday and Monday as well. So somebody was asking me about these storms. What's happening out there right now? Actually, several people are. So let me see here. So I want to show you the current radar. Hi, Becky. Jeff, I'll slow it down for you. Most likely to get tornadoes would be kind of like where that enhanced risk was. So it would be for southwest of Cincinnati, maybe parts of Decatur, Ripley County, maybe Switzerland and Carroll County. Those areas would see the best chance for tornadoes. Okay, so this is what's happening right now. Let me switch this radar. Okay. So we do have some of that very heavy rain, especially moving toward VV. It looks like Carrollton is almost in the clear as it continues to move to the north. Very heavy rain. There was some lightning. There's no lightning right now, but that's kind of been intermittent. So I would just prepare for the lightning, stay inside until that storm passes. This could be some strong gusty winds at times. It's just not going to last very long. And I mean, we would be talking about maybe 25, 30 mile per hour wind gusts as it moves through. No severe thunderstorm watches or warnings have been issued right now. Same goes with tornado watches or warnings. And that might actually be the case for the entire country right now. I did see a tornado warning earlier today, very far off to our south. I might have been, I don't know if it was Mississippi maybe. It was pretty far away from us, but that's the only warning that I've seen so far today. But that's something that likely will expand throughout the day today as we continue to track these storms. And actually, let me look right now, because I have watches and warnings turned on and I don't see anything. So let me check. Need more coffee. Looks like there's one flood warning in Missouri, and that's it across the entire country. So that's good news. Okay, so let me see the speed of this. Okay. We'll track some of these storms for you. Okay, all right. This particular storm, and let me change the track. Okay, this one near VV. Let's track it all the way into Cincinnati. So these are this is the updated timeline. This particular cell, which again does have some lightning with it, some gusty winds, but it's not severe. It would be in Warsaw at 12:24, Florence around 1 p.m., Delhi 1:09, and downtown Cincinnati about 1:20. So that's if it stays on its current trajectory. It's moving at about 30 to 35 miles per hour. So it will continue to advance off to the northeast. Now, that's the only cell that I would be worried about in the immediate future because, and yeah, we've got all the radars turned on. Look at how there's going to be a break behind that. We actually see some dry air, maybe a little bit of sunshine, but I think the clouds will win out today. But you do see there's a little bit of some clearing north of Louisville. And then this area, it's in Bloomington. That's what we expect to move in around 4 or 5 p.m. and really bring us more of that widespread chance for thunderstorms across parts of the area later in the day. And that's when some of those storms could be severe. So again, that's what we're going to be watching throughout the day today. A couple of kind of problem areas with these storms. And I know a lot of folks are asking about their own neighborhoods. So let me show you this again. Is this the right one? Yeah, I think so. If it's not, I can pull up the right one. For the risk of severe storms. So we're saying after 5 p.m., let's just say 4, just to be on the safe side. But the idea here is that the storms are going to be weakening as they push east. So this is the enhanced threat. It does include kind of northern Louisville, right there on the Ohio River, and then in part all the way to Evansville. The slight risk includes basically the western half, maybe even 2/3 of our viewing area. That's a 2 on a scale of 1 to 5, and then the marginal threat further off to the east. So storms are expected to weaken as they move west to east. I think the best chance for any of these strong to severe storms is around 8 p.m. until about 1 a.m. And that depends upon your location. I'll show you why I think that. Let me show you one of these models. Okay. So here's, 5, 6 p.m. we do start to see some of these storms pop up that could be on the strong side. And then we get to, 7, 8 p.m. Look at how these storms, they start to bubble up even more. They start to become more numerous. 10 p.m., 11, midnight. And again, as I mentioned, until let's say 3 a.m., you're still dealing with some of those storms. Definitely stronger to the west. The further east you go, they really just weaken. They don't have enough of a punch to stay together that long. Let me show you a different model. Here we go. We do think that the Reds game will have an impact. We think that it could be later in the game. Hopefully once it's already over, that would be the ideal situation, right? But we think they'll be able to get the game started on time, and then perhaps maybe in the later innings, that's when it could be impacted. So again, here's that timeline. 4 and 5 p.m. we start to see those storms pop up, but this is the line. This, I think, is going to bring us that best chance for storms. 9, 10 p.m. after midnight until 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. But just east of Cincinnati, the storms really start to weaken as they move through. So the further east you go, the less of a chance that you're going to have those severe storms. If you live further to the west, and we're mostly talking about southeastern Indiana, maybe Boone County, you're going to see the threat for those stronger storms. But the further east you go, they weaken significantly as they continue to move east. Versailles is still in a slight risk, which is a 2 on a scale of 1 to 5, but Versailles could definitely have a stronger thunderstorm. Yeah, the Reds start at 7:10. We think they'll be okay starting that game at 7:10, and then it could be delayed later, maybe 9 p.m. or later. Middletown is included in a slight risk, so definitely has an increased threat for storms probably after 9 p.m., maybe even closer to 10 or 11 p.m. Cleves is kind of a similar situation, maybe a little bit of a higher chance than Middletown. Okay. So yeah, let me show you the map again. Okay. Let me see if they're talking about. Okay, so have not talked about issuing any kind of watches or warnings for us, at least at this time, but if they do, we'll let you know. So again, here's the threat level, a little bit higher further off to the southwest. As you move east, it really lessens and lessens, but a large, and definitely our most populated areas are included in the slight risk. And again, technically this goes all the way through tomorrow morning. The Storm Prediction Center's convective outlooks are from basically this morning until tomorrow morning. I think our greatest threat for severe storms is going to be from 9 p.m. until about 3 a.m. During that window, we'll have the best opportunity for some of these stronger storms as the remnants of Beryl make their way into our region. So again, because this will be after sunset and we want to make sure that you don't let your guard down, Make sure that you have a way to get those alerts if there are any kind of tornado warnings in your area. Yeah, and I don't think that this is going to be I don't think this is going to be a major tornado outbreak. For example, yesterday, or maybe for example isn't the right way to say this, but let's just take historically the same storm. Yesterday there were 15 tornadoes reported. Those were in Texas, Louisiana, and Arkansas. So they were all, and actually I believe I could show you this. So they were all well off to the southwest when that storm, yeah, here we go, was a lot stronger. When Beryl still had was still packing quite a punch in those areas. So let me see here. I can show you all of these for the past, let's say, 36 hours. So these were all of the tornadoes reported. Let me see. So one person died in Louisiana. A tree fell on a mobile home. That's why somebody died. So, remember, if you can go to a neighbor's house that has a basement, that's the best place where you can be in the event of a tornado. And then the storms just really weakened as they moved to the northeast. And again, this is the same storm system that we're going to deal with. You can see these are the storm reports of the last 36 hours. And again, the storm is ongoing right now here in this area, and you're seeing some reports of flooding, some trees down, some damage, that kind of thing. Let's actually look at what some of these say. So this was 7:15 last night. So tree down. Let's see what some of these ones near St. Louis say. Wind damage, 5:30 yesterday. So again, a lot of this was yesterday as the storm was still a lot stronger. If I limit these storm reports to, let's say, 12 hours, so anything that happened today, not very much. So again, we'll be watching radar very, very closely today, and especially into the overnight hours. This is likely to be an event that is more impactful the later in the day we go, 8, 9 p.m., and then even beyond that until 3 a.m., as I mentioned. I think from 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. is going to be our greatest threat for any of those storms. Now let's look at what's happening out there right now. And this cell that we've been tracking throughout this show continues to really keep its strength. Now notice that in the past couple of frames, it's almost splitting. It hasn't split yet, but it's almost starting to create maybe two different storm cells here. There is some lightning, there is some very heavy rain. Wind should not be very strong. We're talking about 25 to 30 mile per hour wind gusts probably within this storm, but it is definitely following that line of I-71. So that puts it very close to downtown Cincinnati, and it is moving very quickly. So let's track this again. Let's track that center to the northeast. And again, this is going to be from kind of the center of the storm right now. It would be in Burlington at 102, so continuing on that northeasterly track, downtown Cincinnati 126, and then Hamilton at 142. Heavy rain, lightning, gusty winds, but sub-severe, so not strong enough to cause a warning, but still something definitely worth watching if you are going to be out and about, and even if you're just on the roads, that could impact your travel as well. Yes, I do think that the storm loses a lot of its strength as it continues to move to the north and especially northeast. Yeah, there were, it was over, I think, 120 something tornado warnings issued yesterday, and there were 15 confirmed tornadoes. So now there could end up being more, but just think about that. It's like a factor of 10. Only 10% of the warnings turned out to be true. So, and that's not to say that when there is a tornado warning that, you don't want to take it seriously. You should always take it seriously, and you always rather be safe than sorry. My point with that is a lot of times in these tropical systems, the tornado, the radar might show rotation very quickly, and then it loses the rotation just as fast. So when that happens, a lot of times they issue the warning, And by then the storm is no longer rotating. So now you've got these warnings issued, and there's no longer a tornado, and there's no longer a threat of a tornado. So that's the problem with these leading edge spin ups. They might spin initially, but then they collapse very quickly, and they're no longer having a tornado threat. And I think that's what happened yesterday, because as of right now, and actually now it says 14 confirmed tornadoes. Now, one of them was fatal. There was a tree. Actually, I actually know where that is. It was in Louisiana. Anyways, so that situation can happen in any storm, though. It doesn't even need to be a tornado. So just heed all of the warnings if we have any of them today. But just know that that's the nature of this system, that they could be very brief spin-up tornadoes, but then they also collapse very quickly, too. Brookville, Indiana, I would prepare for storms around 9 p.m. They could be strong. And then you're probably in the clear by midnight. Sprinkling in Hamilton. So that's some of this rain that you see here. Yeah, radar actually did pick that up. Even if it is sprinkles, that radar, it's come a long way in the past several years. So so we're just going to continue to watch these storms. Again, it's not severe right now, but lightning and heavy rain definitely going to be a problem. Okay, I think I'm going to have to hop off here. So we do have the potential for very brief tornadoes, damaging winds anywhere from about 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. Any storms that pop up before that will have lightning and heavy rain, but they should not be severe, and they should not cause any kind of damage. But again, lightning can also... We've actually had, this year alone, I think 3 reports of lightning striking home. So also something that, you want to take into consideration. This is just a day to stay weather aware. That's why we issued the first alert weather day, because these storms do have the potential to be strong to severe. So we'll be on top of it. I believe our 3 and 4 o'clock newscast will be streaming. Oh, I've got to get off. Hold on. Okay. I believe our 3 and 4 o'clock newscast will be streaming today. So you can find us wherever you stream. And then we'll be back on the air as soon as soccer ends. And the same is true tomorrow. Tomorrow, again, it's very gusty winds. That's going to be the big problem tomorrow. As far as what happens today, damaging winds, brief tornadoes will be possible, heavy rain and lightning, all possible. Thank you, Patrice. Hamilton, you're probably not done with the lightning until maybe 2 a.m. Thunder, maybe keeping you awake, that kind of thing. Okay. So I'm going to continue to watch this radar. I'm going to hop off of here so that I can kind of dive into more of the data and stuff. But thank you guys so much. You've been very interactive, and I always appreciate that. Of course, again, we'll be streaming 3 and 4 o'clock. We'll be on the air at 5 and 6, and Steve will have his streaming show coming up at 7:15 as well. Unless, of course, he's already on the air because there's some warnings, but I don't suspect that will be the case. So yeah, stay safe, everybody. Have a way to get those warnings. You know the deal. You're all intelligent people. So stay safe today, and we'll have you covered if there are any warnings. Okay, have a great day.